Dear students, in the previous class we discussed Regulating Act, Pitt's India Act, Charter Act of 1813. Now we are moving to discuss Charter Act of 1833. You know what was the intention of these acts? I don't explain elaboratively. It is, suppose if I explain elaboratively, you will feel it is very tough. So let's go with quick points. This act aimed at improving the situation in India. 1833 Charter Act or the Charter Act of 1833. The first point, this act aimed at improving the situation in India. It also licensed East India Company to remain in India for another 20 years. First point, aimed at improving the situation. First point, improving the situation in India. Situation in India. The second point, it means it extended license to East India Company to remain in India for another 20 years. Another 20 years, second point. Now let us see the main aspect of this Charter Act of 1833 or the Governor General of Bengal was named as the Governor General of India. See, in course of time, in those days, there were three presidencies. One is Bengal Presidency, another one is Bombay Presidency, third one is Madras Presidency. Each presidency had its own governors. But through this act, by this act, the Governor General of Bengal was named as the Governor General of India. Two other means Bombay Presidency and Madras Presidency came under the fold of Bengal Presidency. Its its capital is located in Calcutta. Head office located in Calcutta. The Governor General was vested with the power to direct, control and supervising all the trades in India. The Governor General, first one is Governor General of Bengal became Governor General of India. India means including two more presidencies. Then the Governor General was vested with the power to direct one thing. Then second point, control and supervising all the trades in India. Formerly it was under the leadership of East India Company, now came under the fold of Governor General of Bengal. The central government of Bengal had the final right to decide on issues like war, peace, diplomatic relations, negotiations, treaties with the princely states of India. See, the central government of Bengal had the final right to decide on issues like negotiation, peace, war, diplomatic relation with the princely states. The Governor General was authorized to put his difference of opinion with the executive committee and members in writing whenever he differed with the majority opinion. See, he is not whole and soul. There was committee. Under the guidance of the committee, he can carry out the administration. In case there was a difference of opinion, you should seek the assistance and suggestions of the members of the board of directors, board of controllers. The act barred any discrimination based on religion, birth, skin color. See, no one should be discriminated No one should be discriminated on the ground of color, birth, race, religion. These are what a Charter Act of 1833 provisioned that provision. This is the Charter Act, and the Governor General was mandated to appoint a law professional as a member to his executive committee. See, Governor General of Bengal is not whole and soul. He should not take any individual decisions. He has to take the suggestions and opinions of the executive committee. Executive committee. All British companies were allowed to have trade relation with India. All British companies were allowed to trade relationship in India. Before that, only East India Company was authorized to trade in India. But now, any Britain private company can carry out trade in India. Then, the Charter Act of 33 throws more light on the internal situation of India and also various political development present in England during 1830s. Dear children, this is all about Charter Act 1833. Just go through the textbook. Next, another very important act is British Government Act. Children, you know, in 1857, Sipahi Mutiny took place in India due to maladministration of East India Company and anti-Indian acts in 1857. When the Sipahi Mutiny took place in the year 1857. As a result, the administration of India handed over to the British Queen from the East India Company. See, the main reason for the Sipahi Mutiny, maladministration. Maladministration of East India Company, they claim. But whatever it may be, but as a result of the administration of India was handed over to the British Queen from East India Company. During this period, India Government Acts of 1858, this is British Government Act, but those are all called India Government Acts of 1858, 1861, 1892, 1909, 1919, 1935 were implemented due to various political development during different periods makes this act historically very important. These are all, some acts were basis for our Indian Constitution also. Then, now we are going to see Indian Government Act 1858. Indian Government Act of 1858. The act needs to be understood in the backdrop of civil and military unrest that took place in 1857, that is called Sipahi Mutiny. Whenever you want to go through Indian Government Act of 1858, you should study and you should have little knowledge about 1857 Sipahi Mutiny. We have to study in that backdrop. India came under the direct rule of British government. Now we are going to see the features of Indian Government Act 1858. India came under the direct rule of British government, first thing. Formerly, see, direct means in 1773, through regulating act, British, you know that British government used its acts to cut and trim the powers of East India Company. But East India Company frequently committed a lot of mistake, and it is responsible for unrest in India. If you see, go through the history, you will find what are the reason. Mainly, East India Company did not have any sympathy on Indian people. Its main intention was to trade in India. For the trade, they were ready to do anything. Due to that, many unrest, many mutinies, and many wars, many battles took place. To cut and trim their power, it helped. India came under the direct rule of British government, the first point. Then the Queen of England, Victoria, announced that all-round development of India would be ensured by the British government on November 1st, 1858. This is also called Magna Carta of India. Magna Carta of India. What is the importance of Magna Carta? Through Magna Carta, British people were given necessary rights. Necessary rights. Here she promised, she means Queen of Britain, Victoria, promised and announced that all-round development of India would be ensured by the British government on 1st November 1858. Now let us see the important features of this act. This act means Indian Government Act of 1858. The license of East India Company was cancelled and India was brought under the direct administration of Queen. Now who is the executive chief of India? British Queen. At present, who is the executive chief of India? The President of India is the executive. In 1858, aftermath of Sepoy Mutiny, who? The British Queen was the chief of India. And the post Governor General was changed. The post of Governor General was changed into Viceroy. See, very important. Instead of Governor General, in that place, Viceroy was brought. And then Lord Canning became the first Viceroy of India. Question can be asked. When was the post of Governor General changed? Through 1858 Indian Government Act. Answer is simple. Second one is, who became the first Viceroy of India? Who became the first Viceroy of India? Lord Canning. The new post called Secretary of State for India was created in the British government. See, Governor General was there and Board of Directors were there and committee members were there. They were giving the suggestions for Governor General in the administration. Now Viceroy came into what a Viceroy post has brought, and he was assisted by so many members. At the same time, a Council of India was created in order to assist Secretary in the administration. The Secretary was part of British Cabinet and was responsible for the administration of India. Once again, the new post called Secretary of State for India was created in British government. Where? In England. That secretary was part of British Cabinet. Second point. And he was responsible for the administration of India. It means he is the linking chain between, he was the linking chain between Viceroy and British Cabinet or Queen. Then Council of India was created in order to assist the secretary in the administration. The council had 15 members. Dear children, this is all about Indian Government Act of 1858. Now we are moving to another important act, that is 1861 Indian Council Act. Indian Council Act. This is an important act that came into effect after 1857. With this act, Indians were allowed to participate in the process of creating laws. Until then, no one was considered in that process. See, Indian Council Act of 1861 made a provision that Indian can participate in the process of creating laws. This was a good sign. This was a good sign. In order to understand the aspirations of Indians, representation was given to Indians. Representation, second point. See, representation for Indians. This is called as policy of assertion. Let us see important features of Indian Council Act. Indians were nominated to the Council of Viceroy as non-official member. Whatever it may be, but Indians were considered. Viceroy was authorized to proclaim ordinances in the case of emergency. Once again, let's go through Indian Council Act of 1861. This act, this is an important act that came into effect after 1857. Why it is an important act? Here, Indians were considered. With this act, Indians were allowed to participate in the process of creating laws. In order to understand the aspirations of India, representation was given to Indians. This is called as policy of assertion. What do you mean by policy of assertion? Some other important features. This what Indians were nominated to the Council of Viceroy as non-official members, not official members. Viceroy was authorized. Before that, Governor General was authorized to take any decisions and to make any negotiations, policy, ordinances. But Viceroy was authorized to proclaim ordinances in the case of emergency. Dear children, this is all about 1861 Indian Council Act. Dear children, please go through the video as well as go through the textbook. Don't waste your time and be careful. Now you know that the pandemic is increasing and the number is increasing. Your health and hygiene is very, very important. That is the paramount thing for us. I hope you will you'll be safe in home with your parents. Sai Ram.